This is Lansdowne Road, the voice of the fans. Coming up, Evan Ferguson to Roma, pretty much done. Victor Ozhianvuna, could he be on his way to Arsenal? And Joe Hodge heads to Portugal. It's Lansdowne Roar. Hello and welcome to another edition of Lansdowne Roar. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy. And yeah, all good in the hood, Conor. How are you? Are you well? Are you wonderful? Are you lovely?
I'm great, Dave. I'm flying. It's another weekend of madness in the Irish football scene. Just things happening left, right, and centre. When you think the news is going to go quiet for a few days, you probably know yourself. You think, oh, there's going to be nothing to put on socials for a couple of days, and then everything just blows up again. So, yeah, it's been a good few days. Enjoyed the boxing last night. Good to see Usyk knock out an Englishman. But yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I watched none of that boxing. No interest in it whatsoever. But saw a lot of pissed people going towards North London. So I'm sure that was fun. And one of those was Martin, of course. Martin, who was supposed to be recording with us, Conor, wasn't he? And he just no-showed. Terrible.
Don't put the blame on that. I don't know if he had the offer. He had the offer. We extended our offer. It's kind of thing, the thing where you send someone an invite to someone, but you know they're not going to turn up just to make sure they got the offer to keep them happy.
I reckon he's at home nursing hangover. But anyway, speaking of socials, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the like button on this video. It really does help. We are trying to grow the channel. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And you can head over to lansdowneroad.ie, lansdowneroad.ie. A lot of exciting stuff happening over there. New site on the way, Conor. New site on the way. Say no more.
Happy.
I'm very happy.
I'm dancing.
Well, no, I'm rooted to this chair. I'm not going anywhere. And of course, if you're listening to an audio version of this, wherever you get your podcasts, you can get them from Spotify or Apple. You can also get them from lansdowneroad.ie. And wherever you're watching or listening, just give us a 5-star review. It really does help. Anyway, let's crack on, Conor. Lots to talk about. Of course, the big story is Evan Ferguson practically done, almost done, or done soon, as he would say. Wearing a very old-looking Adidas jersey there, a good LAI. But of course, Fabrizio Romano, he broke the story last night. Just going to read what he said. Evan Ferguson, AS Roma, here we go. Deal agreed with Brighton on initial loan with €40 million buy option clause. Ferguson preferred Roma ahead of several clubs. Keane, and the agreement is now verbally between all parties. Brighton approved new striker for Gasperini. So there you go. Pretty much done. He's sort of like the oracle now, isn't he, Fabrizio Romano? It was funny. Yesterday I was so busy. I just copy and pasted his tweet, put the whole thing up. I'm not denying it. I'm, and someone, you're ripping off Fabrizio Romano. His name is on the photograph. I'm not hiding it. I'm a busy man. Hear that? I'm busy.
No, disgraceful.
Busy. So there you go. It's happened. It's probably will be by the time you listen or watch this podcast. It will be finalized. Conor, is it a good move for the lad?
Yeah, it is a great move. I believe his medical is today, which is Sunday. So hopefully, I don't know, it'll probably be announced maybe later on this evening. And hopefully there's no problems with that and all's gone through. Yeah, it's a great move for Evan. I'm very happy, as we spoke before, I'm very happy the fact that it's not just a straight loan. I think if it was a straight loan, it would have been 10 times as much of a struggle to go out there and adapt because, as you've seen with the West Ham loan, when it's a straight loan, they don't have to play him. They're not too eager to play him. If they've nothing to play for, they'll just throw him on the bench. And I think it's a really good move to get to his side that's going to be playing in European football this season, that even if he goes through patches of the season where he's not really maybe knocking down trees or scoring for fun, you'll always have, because there's going to be a lot of the weeks, you're going to have 2 games a week. He's naturally going to have to start a lot of games and then he'll just come back in the form naturally. So I think he's going to do unbelievable in Italy. I think it'll just suit Evan down to the ground. I think he'll score goals for fun. I think the slower side of pace will just mean he can pick up the ball so much easier, and we'll see how good of a finisher he is with both feet and in the air. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant move for him. He's going to play lots and lots of football this season. And with the buy option of 40 million, I think it's going to end up being a bargain. But you know what the Italians like, to try and probably bargain that down even further, even if he scores 20 goals, or they seem like the type of team maybe that if Evan went and scored 20 goals, they'd pay the 40 million and then they'd sell him for another 60 to someone else. But yeah, I believe I believe the number for Bowes to get around this deal if it goes through next summer is about 12.5%. So if do the maths, Dave, that means they'll get 160 million. No, they'd get 5 million out of the 40 million if the move goes through next summer, which would be unbelievable money for a club like Bowes. But yeah, I'm delighted with the move. Are you?
I don't know. Not doubting his ability in the slightest. I don't know whether this is a great move for him. I like the fact there's a buyout option, or is it not a buyout option, but you know what I mean. There's a buy option because I think that was my opinion. That's what scuppered the West Ham move. Really, there was no real push to play him. There was no incentive to play Evan Ferguson, and he suffered a lot. So obviously, whoever the powers that be in the deal have obviously looked at that and went, okay, we need to make sure that, which is it's kind of also a bit disappointing because it's a double-edged sword because it shows Brighton are sort of happy to offload him, which is a shame. He's gone from the golden boy to sort of, yeah. So I don't know. It's a weird one because you're selling, like, he's going to a bigger club, Roma. They're in the Europa League this year as well. They finished 5th in Serie A. So it's just a strange one, like, why Brighton would want to get rid of him, make it easy for Roma to sign him. Do you not think that's a bit strange?
Yeah, I do. As I said there, I think it's a bargain. I think it's going to end up being a complete bargain to get for 40 million. Yeah, I don't know why it's so cheap.
Euros.
Yeah, I know. So it's like 35 or something million pound. Like, so, maybe it's the thing that the new Evan was going to be there this summer. They're saving his wages. Roma played the whole wage package. Is this sort of thing? Well, these clubs are going to say, well, he only scored one goal in the Premier League last season, wasn't it? He scored one for Brighton, didn't score for West Ham. So it's kind of like, how much can you really bargain out of it? I know he has so much talent, and he is a level of talent that not many players in Europe have in terms of a striker. So, but I just think it's because of how last season went and his injury records ever since he got brutally assaulted by Fabinho on the pitch. So yeah, it's probably not the biggest. Like, I do think if he scores, I think if he even scores 15 goals this season, 12 to 15 goals, I think 40 million is still very cheap because at the end of the day, he'll be 21 by the end of next season, and a 21-year-old striker scoring 15 goals in Serie A is outstanding numbers. But yeah, I just think, I look at the reality of it. Gasperini had Rasmus Højlund scoring 15 goals for Atalanta in Serie A, and if he can have him scoring that many goals, I think Evan will tear it up. But yeah, I think Roma seem to be investing heavily this summer, which is always a positive that they seem to be making a real case to try and compete for the title.
Just reading here on footballatali.net, Gasperini hasn't yet worked with any new signings during the preseason. Obviously, he's a new manager. Because Ranieri took him out of relegation.
He left
last season, and basically hasn't worked on new signings during the preseason. So the Italian tactician admitted to being worried about the lack of reinforcement so far. This is a quote. This is from Football Italia. We've had some issues and now we're a bit behind schedule. We got here with a few absentees and we are eager to recover. He said after a 14-0 win over Trastevere in Roma's first summer friendly. We hope for a push because the club is given great availability. We know what we need to do and what kind of players we're looking for. Expect acceleration in the transfer market. The club is working at its best to fill the gaps and create the team I've requested. He spoke to me hours before Roma reached a full agreement for Ferguson, but still admitted being worried a little bit. He's a bit worried because we've been working for 8 days and the season begins in a month. But I'm sure what we need will be done, the coach said. So, okay. I don't know. I find Italian clubs very erratic. That's always been a thing with Serie A clubs. That's another reason. I remember Robbie Keane. I'm old enough to remember the Robbie Keane deal to Inter Milan. And I can't remember the manager he went under, but then Marco Tardelli took over, and he was gone. Got rid of Robbie Keane just like that because he didn't want him. And that is how turbulent these Italian clubs can be. These clubs on the continent can be. So I don't know. I do worry a little bit. And Irish players, other than Liam Brady, don't seem to have a great record in Italy. And it's not a great league for a young player to go to.
Well, we haven't had that many. We haven't had that many Irish players playing Italy that you can really say it like that. We haven't had a huge amount.
Well, other than Liam Brady, we haven't had a successful one.
Yeah, but so I mean, we haven't like it's not like there's been 30 Irish players have gone there and it's like really, really, really struggle. There's only been how many Irish players have played in Italy? Like
Robbie Keane, the greatest ever goal scorer, he struggled.
Yeah. He was very young and he was competing with some of the best players to ever play football.
Yeah, but Ferguson's 20.
Yeah, I know. But did you see? Actually very good stats. I don't know if you've seen from the boys we've seen on Twitter. Evan Ferguson is the same age as Robbie Keane when he went into Milan. When Robbie Keane left, he had scored 12 Premier League goals. Ferguson has scored 13. So it does show that what Ferguson has done, even at this stage of his career, as a 20-year-old in the Premier League, is still outstanding numbers, despite he's had so many ups and downs, that he's had so many downs over the last couple of years that he still went and scored 13 Premier League goals.
Yeah, and it just furthermore goes towards what's happened. I'd love to know what's happened in Brighton. I'd love to know what's happened there, because a lad with his ability, his talent, and they're just going to let him go for about 30-something million pounds if it works out for him. I just think it's a strange one. I really think, I wish him nothing but the best luck. I'm just a bit...
Unless he's forced in his hand and says, I want to get out of here, unless he thinks...
Yeah, which you'd be more than entitled to do. Yeah. You know, so it is a strange one. Look, I wish him nothing but the best of luck. But obviously it's all a bit new there at Roma. And I'll tell you what with Evan Ferguson, you want to make sure he's on his absolute, not suggesting he won't be, but he'd want to make sure he's on his absolute best behaviour over there, because the Italian press, so you think the British press are bad, the Italian press will absolutely pounce. If he's not banging in the goals, they will destroy him over there. The Italian press are absolute bastards. Yeah. I'm just being honest, like they are. And he needs to be on his extra best behavior over there. Make sure, he's straightening up, flying right, and he doesn't put a foot wrong, and he starts doing the job on the pitch. If he does the job on the pitch, they'll love him. He'll be a legend there. Look at Liam Brady. He goes back to Sampdoria 40 years later. They love him. So it's all there for him. I really hope it works out for him. He's going to be playing European football, I hope. I just worry about the stability, Conor. The stability at a club like Roma in Serie A. And what I mean stability, I mean like that manager could be gone in 6 weeks. That's Italian
football. The only thing is English football is the exact same. English football is the exact same in terms of stability.
It's crept in to England, yes. It never used
wherever
to be
the money are. But the reality is, Dave, wherever there's money, there's going to be instability, because when you have money to throw about, that you can sack managers willy-nilly if it's not going well for the first 6 weeks, it's these things are just going to happen. So I think, but we've seen with Gasparini's record at Atalanta that he, even though he's took in limited players, which Evan isn't a limited player, or he's took in lads that have kind of been write-offs over the years. Look at Ademola Lookman, what he done with Ademola Lookman. I've seen Inter Milan are signing him now, and how well he done when they won the Europa League. So yeah, I think Evan will shine in Italy, but it's not like we can't. I don't want to see people, like you see a lot of people writing him off already, saying, "Oh, he's finished at 20." It's like, just
no, he's not finished. No,
shut up,
Evan Ferguson's not finished. This is like
he's not even got a start. He hasn't even got a started yet.
Absolutely not finished, right? Nothing like that. It's just, as I said, I just worry. A club like Rome, he's on a 3-year contract. Gasparini, looking at a photograph of him, with the 2028 jerseys in front of him, with Claudio Ranieri on his left, and I just hope it works out for him. I'll be watching. Well, if you want to watch Italian football, it's on DAZN. That's where you got to watch it now. You got to get a subscription on DAZN if you want to see Ferguson.
Good thing I have it.
You have DAZN. How much is that a month, Conor?
Don't know. I get it for free.
Why do you get it for free, Conor?
Because my sister works for DAZN. Say, you thought I was going to say, "Oh, a dodgy box." No.
Have you just thrown your sister under the bus?
No.
Are you supposed to have it for free? Anyway, but best of luck to you, Evan Ferguson, and we hope everything goes well. Next big story, Conor, you broke this one, I believe.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I'm trying to give you some credit, Conor. Just
but you don't want to say I broke something that I didn't break.
Well, no, it's great because someone else can steal it then. Victor Ozhianvuna could be on his way to Arsenal. Tell us a bit more about this, Conor.
Yeah, it's he scored tonight for Rovers in the cup. Scored his first senior goal. A 16-year-old who's impressed a lot since breaking into the Rovers first team this season. Probably hasn't got the starts and maybe minutes that he deserves, but his talent is just because of the real quality Rovers have. But he got man of the match for Rovers on Friday, and Stephen Bradley confirmed on Friday night that they are down the line with a club about signing for a deal that is going to break Mason Melia's €1.9 million record fee to Spurs, and it looks like that club is going to be Arsenal, according to all reports from the Irish Independent. Were the first one to say it, that it looks like Victor Ozhianvuna will be heading to Arsenal when he turns 18 in January 2027. So it's only 2025 now, like still 2 years to go. But he's an exceptional talent, Dave. He's player, can play on the wing, can play as a number 10. He always naturally would have been a number 10 coming through, but kind of drifted out to the left since going into first team football. I think naturally just through the system that Rovers play and how strong they are down the middle. But he an unbelievable ball carrier. His dancing feet, can finish, can create. I think we'll only just start seeing more and more of him now with Rovers over the next couple of months, because I think the first goal of the weekend was just to kickstart what he needed. And especially with the way Europe is kicking in now, they'll have to do stuff with him, and he'll have to start playing more, especially when he done. I don't know if you remember, he came on against who was it? No, it wasn't Malmo. Who did they play in the Europa, the Conference League? What was it? No, it wasn't Malmo. Was it Malmo? No, it wasn't Malmo. It's gone out of my head. But when he came on against when they lost in penalties, he came on for extra time and he absolutely tore it up down the wing. And you think this lad has it all to be a serious player, and he's only 16, and what he offers to a team is different class, and he's such an unbelievable talent. And I think this is just the start for him, really. And I'm not surprised this sort of fee's been thrown about. I'm surprised more the fact that I feel like this is being thrown about already, because he's not really played a huge amount of senior football, and like Mason Melia's fee was kind of on the back of him absolutely tearing up as a 16-year-old in the League of Ireland, and like Victor really hasn't got that chance yet. So, but it is it's probably a change in the market when it comes to Ireland. These clubs are starting to buy early and think we're going to have to take this gamble, or other clubs will come in. And it was molded, the loss on penalties. It wasn't Malmo, it was molded.
Oh, you were close. Well, now, absolutely fantastic stuff. More great news for League of Ireland. I'm going to get hate text over that. But Victor Ozhianvuna, hopefully that happens. And the best of luck to you, young man. Another young man here that we rave about here on the pod. There he is. Josh Keley signed for Luton Town during the week. A bit of controversy over that one, Conor. Nothing to do with the transfer. More the Irish football social media. Wow.
Why was it said?
No, just, there's a little bit of controversy between, a couple of pages. Just
no, not
yeah.
No.
Wow.
Anyway,
Irish football social media, lads. I tell you what, it is political.
It is.
Nothing to do
you're
with
the
me.
biggest reason.
Listen, you can both take me out as far as I can. No, I stay out of the politics of it.
But tell me what you think of this move for Josh Keley.
Yeah, well, I think it's always a bit of a gamble. He's staying at the same level. We thought he was going to go to a championship club, which seemed like the obvious next step. Now, to be fair, Luton Town, I know they treated him very well, and they treated him exceptionally well. And basically, they've made a very good pitch towards him, their project to get back into the championship and then hopefully back into the Premier League. So it does seem like an excellent move for Josh. When I heard it first, I was like, but the more I looked into it, I thought, okay. As you said to me, Conor, they're going to have a ton of parachute payments still coming through. They're going to look to get back in the championship as soon as possible, which is great for Josh. And he's not too far away. He's still around the London area. It's Luton. It's just up the road. And you know what? It's also lovely to have a player in League One, a team in League One now we can keep an eye on it and cheer on. So I'm delighted for him now. He's going to continue to get regular football. He's going to continue to evolve. How old is he? 21?
Yeah, 22. I think
20,
he's just turned 22.
22. It's still at his age, League One football. You always want, them to go up the next level, but at the end of the day, 22 League One football, absolutely perfect. And I think he's at a good club there. And yeah, I think it's a real. He could have potentially have a pathway now into the Premier League at some stage, one way or another. So yeah, I think it's a very good move from.
Yeah, like
You
I
weren't
think
you
it's
weren't
all.
expecting me to say all that, were you?
No, I thought you were going to say your disappointment. No, but I thought no, because I think we all had that initial thing of why he's going back to League One because we just know how good of a keeper he is, and he's kind of. I guess easy to say at this stage that he's ready to play in the Championship, and he's more than good enough to play in the Championship, which is you could say is his level now. But with the fact that Luton got relegated, the parachute payments are coming in. They haven't lost anyone really from the squad last. I know they lost Asgard to Rangers, but other than that, really, they've kept a very strong squad. I know they brought in the likes of Naki Wells, who was excellent for Bristol City last season, and he's definitely not a League One player. So what they're doing is they're sort of really bringing a lot of Championship standard players. And I think they're going to do what like a Birmingham done last season. Obviously, the competition will be quite strong in League One this season. The likes of Plymouth going down, Cardiff going down, but I still think they will be the favourites to win it. I think when you bring in a player like Josh Keley and you pay the £1 million, that a lot of clubs were like probably would have been happy to take Josh on loan again this season, the Championship. But they offered the money. They're going to make a lot of money in Josh in the future. It's whatever. It's a short-term loss for a long-term gain because they're going to make a lot of money off Josh. He's gonna do a lot of very good things this season. You'd hope he'll go on and maybe win the Golden Glove in League One this season, and hopefully we just worry about the Ireland picture. Does it affect is Ireland standing really for the World Cup next summer if we qualify if he's playing in League One? But maybe the fact that Mark Travers won't be playing, Max O'Leary's out for 3 to 4 months with an injury. Bazunu, we don't know what the situation is going to be with him. So Everton's still up for grabs, really, but it's still a very good move. He's obviously going to go into a better contract at Luton. Like he turned down the new deal at Spurs because what Luton offered was of a higher standard and better for his long term future, which is the most important thing. Really, if people seem to forget that it's a career, and if he does very well at Luton this season, next season will be even bigger. And it's great to see he has the Irish connection there with Millie Ali and Mark McGuinness, who it's interesting that they spent 10 million on him last summer, and it doesn't seem like they have any interest in selling him this summer. So it shows that they're in a very strong, even though they're in League One, they're still in a very strong financial position. So I think it'll be a great season for Luton and Josh Keley this year.
Yeah, there's some strength there in that squad. Never really should have gone down last season. I mean, they did, and the league doesn't lie. But you can't wonder how
they're very close to staying up. They should have stayed up. The way they finished the season wasn't the finish of a relegation team. They went from being all but effed for 90% of the season to being right in the picture to stay up. So they were unlucky actually to get relegated in the end. But yeah, they're not a League One squad like.
No, and if they hold on to those players as you suggest, they will hopefully get straight back up. Another young man on the move there, Joe Hodge. He has gone over to Portugal. Tell us a bit more about that, Conor.
Another great move, I think, as well. That you would agree with this, Dave. Taking a gamble, going out of, you'd say, the comfort zone of a lad that's played his whole career in England and made the move to CD Tondela in the Portuguese league. They won the second tier last season, so he'd be up for a real probably fight this year, whether it's staying in the league or fighting maybe for mid-table, because it's always very difficult when you come from a second tier to the top tier. He's going to go to a league that suits his, I'd say, style of being a very, very good technical footballer. Also has a lot of energy to get around the park, which is basically what the Portuguese league is technically outstanding players who are quite good athletes. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant move for Joe Hodge, getting away from the English system for a couple of years. I think he'll probably go away for a few years and maybe come back in the future, which could be ideal for him. Develop physically and technically even more. He's had a lot of injury troubles over the year, particularly with his back when he first joined Wolves, and he's had a lot of very good performances even when he played for Wolves. Remember at Anfield, he was brilliant against Liverpool a couple of years ago for Wolves, and he's a player of outstanding quality, player that we probably all thought when he was a 16-year-old playing for the 19s and Euros he would be in the senior squad by now. But I think he's the sort of player that if he does well this season in the Portuguese league, he will be brought into the senior squad because he's kind of a player that's kind of looked at as a very high potential player. There was a reason he was the under-21 captain. Obviously, shows his leadership qualities, which will obviously be a benefit to the Ireland senior squad if he's brought in during the qualifiers. And yeah, he's a brilliant midfielder, and I think that if he does well this season, it'll bring him into the Ireland senior squad, and it also will probably put him back in a shop window for maybe even a better team in Portugal or maybe someone else around Europe.
Yeah, Tondela, of course, recently they won the league championship, the Liga 2 championship, and recently promoted, so hopefully they'll go back down. But best luck to you, young man. Another player, another transfer quickly here. Shawn McGlynn made the move, a very sexy looking Shawn McGlynn there, making a move to Blackburn Rovers with the roses and stuff. God. Yeah, tell us just a bit about that, Conor.
Yeah, very good move for Shawn McGlynn, another who's been in and around the Ireland picture in the past. He's been in a couple of training camp squads with Stephen Kenny. This will probably help his chances even further. I know we've all seen with Hull this summer, they've got the transfer embargo, which no one really likes really to see, really, because I know they were set to sign Louis Barry, and then the transfer embargo came in and they couldn't sign him. I know there was interest in John Egan, but they'll probably not let him go. That they've let Shawn McGlynn go. It seems like he's a year left in his deal, and they've sold him for 500k, so they're kind of getting what they can at this stage. I'm sure that he came from Cork City to Hull 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm sure Cork City will get something out. It won't be a huge deal, but they'll get something out of the deal which will benefit their future. And yeah, it's a good move for Shawn McGlynn. Very good left-footed centre half. You can also play at left back. Blackburn were very close to finishing in the playoffs last season. Obviously, there's always that trouble with the ownership at Blackburn, but they always seem to do well. They all seem to do all right, like in terms of on the pitch. So yeah, if they can compete for playoffs this season, it'll put him right back in the picture. And because he's a left-footed centre half, it can naturally put you in a position where you can overtake lads who might be seen as higher quality or playing at a higher standard because you might fit the system better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Best luck to you, young man, Shawn McGlynn, and at Blackburn Rovers. And of course, we have this man here. Tell us a bit about him.
A bit of pre-season talk here, Jeff.
Yeah.
Bit of pre-season talk. Just one I just think is worth mentioning. Alex Murphy had Mikey Johnson. To know what he's doing.
Slip it a finger.
Yeah, but Alex Murphy, yeah, I watched the second half of himself against Celtic yesterday for Newcastle. Obviously, Celtic battered them 4-0, which is a surprise result to many, really. But yeah, Alex Murphy played left back in the centre in the second half. Thought he was very good. He was very unlucky not to get an assist. He linked up very well with Anthony Gordon down the left, was overlapping very well. Technically, he's a lovely footballer. He's a lovely left foot in him. And he can obviously play centre half. He can play wing back. He's played in a lot of systems. In fairness, he can play back 3, back 4. Or can play like as a wing back in the 5. But yeah, he had a very good performance yesterday for Newcastle. Their fans are very happy with what he done. The local media gave him a good review as well yesterday. So it's another one that maybe for this season, if we don't know whether he'll be kept in Newcastle as an option to play as left full back or he'll go out on loan. I'd say if he does, it'll be to the Championship, which obviously would put him in the Ireland picture. And himself and Teo Daramola, the 2 young left backs of Irish at Premier League clubs, have both done themselves no harm this pre-season. So yeah, hopefully this is just a start for Alex Murphy, and that performance yesterday at Celtic Park will improve his chances. But yeah, I think there's more positives as well at Celtic Park, Dave, than Alex Murphy yesterday with Mr. Johnny Kenny as he's a fan favourite on our show, and all the fans seem to love Johnny Kenny. Excellent player. Has gone to another level over the last 2 years, you'd say, since that loan to Shamrock Rovers, and got even better since going back to Celtic. And yeah, he scored yesterday. I don't know if you've seen the goal, Dave, what Nick Pope was at in goal. It was a horrible mistake, but Johnny Kenny was there to finish the chance, and then his hold up play and his link up play for Celtic's third goal was outstanding, and he looked a real complete number 9 with that sort of display he put in yesterday. And then against Sporting Lisbon the other day, he came on at half time, he won a penalty and got a very nice assist. So he's on absolute fire really to start this pre-season, and it's what you want to see. It looks like it's 2 Irish number 9s competing for that number 9 spot. I put a poll out yesterday for Did people want to see Celtic's first game of the season? Did they want to see Ida or Kenny start up front for Celtic?
I voted in that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who'd you vote for?
Johnny Kenny.
I think everyone voted for Johnny Kenny. Johnny Kenny's on the way for it. So I think everyone knows Johnny Kenny. So I think it's even if they'd rather Ida start, they just want to see Johnny Kenny do well. And
sorry, Celtic Symphony. I know you're gonna pull your hair out and go mental when you hear that, but
but yeah, I think everyone just wants to see Johnny Kenny do well because obviously product of the League of Ireland system and product of this Sligo Rovers Academy that's producing player after player. So yeah, so we all just want to see Johnny Kenny do well, and I don't think if he starts the first game of the season, I don't think anyone will be complaining.
No, best of luck to him. Of course, we'll be keeping our eyes firmly fixed over at Parkhead. Tell us a bit about these lads here. You wanted to talk about these guys here quickly.
Yeah, another preseason game I watch as well. It's Andrew Moore and Aaron Cashin both played the first half for Brighton against Stoke, and Boston all played the first half for Stoke. Played for Stoke against Brighton. It was, in all honesty, I watched the first half. It was kind of a dull game, to be honest with you. It was quite poor. Brighton just passed it about for 45 minutes. Really, they were a better side. And Andy got on the ball a couple of times nicely, showed what he could do with a bit of class, but it was a hard game really to get involved because Stoke just sat back. Cashin was all right, in fairness, didn't really have much defending to do, was kind of just passing it forward. And then the only pity really was that Boston played the centre half. It seems like if you look at Stoke's squad right now, it's very thin, and they seem to have no senior centre half, so it's kind of like Boston kind of had to play at centre half. Hopefully that's not the long-term plan with him at Stoke, because we all know he's way better in midfield, and for the sake of Ireland's football and future, we need him playing in midfield because he is our saviour, isn't he, Dave? That we need him. We need him playing in midfield. We can't have him playing centre half. But yeah, it was just one to keep an eye on because it was great to see Andy getting more and more minutes with the first team, and it seems to be a real part of their first team this pre-season, which shows that maybe if he can keep it up, he might need to go on loan this season. And he might be used in the first team. See about Cashin. I know he was linked to championship loans and linked to like Bundesliga loans this season. That we want to see him give him a chance with the first team, and the fact that they spend a lot of money on him in January, and it would be a bit weird to go on chase him for 3 transfer windows, spend that money on him just to send him out in loan. So maybe if he was set in loan, I think Bundesliga will be great because he's getting to a top 5 league. I don't want to see him go back to the championship, but yeah. And also Jake Griffin, an Ireland under-19 international, came on for the last half an hour for Stoke as well. So it was a good Irish involvement in terms of the game. But yeah, hopefully we can just see them lads build on that, and we'll see Boston go back into midfield.
See Boston bossing it. And then, of course, finally, just a little bit here, Mr. Colin Doyle. There he is. 40-year-old goalkeeper. He announced his retirement, didn't he? He was sold. I didn't know he was sold for £1 at one stage.
Yep. 2016 was sold to Bradford City for £1, wasn't it?
Christ. But best of luck to you, young man, former Republic of Ireland goalkeeper, Colin Doyle. Right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Conor. I think you guys are going to be live on Monday.
Yeah, me and myself and Mr. Prendergast are live tomorrow. Thank God you're on. But, yeah.
Don't worry, I will be. People are asking me, and they're writing to me, and they're like, where are you? Why aren't you on? I will be on starting August.
Is Celtic the only man that asks?
A few people asked. But yeah, I will be back in August on the lives on the Monday. It's just can't do it at the moment. And
you were never on the menu. It was always me and Prendy. So
it's Prendy and I. Bit of grammar.
No, in Ireland we speak what we want.
Speak what we want.
Our own tongue. It's my own tongue.
Well, nonsense. You see, that's why you need the excellence of elocution on there, lads. But I will be back in August. Don't worry. Real life just getting in the way at the moment. We seem to be doing that quite a lot. But yeah, I definitely will be back in August. But do join the lads tomorrow. Great numbers last week. 2,500 people watching Lansdowne Road live, which is brilliant and brilliant support. And remember, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. It does help. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get sponsors. We're trying to get interest because we need to grow the channel. And we need to take it places. We really do need to take this channel places. places it deserves to go to. Damn you. Please do like the video. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. Head over to lansdowneroad.ie, lansdowneroad.ie for opinion and all that good stuff. And yeah, if you're listening to an audio version of this, please do give a 5-star review. It really also does help. Anyway, we are out of here. Thank you for watching, Conor. Thank you for coming on. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne Roar. You're all lovely, and we'll see you on the next one.